Lieutenant Nico Rivera's fighter spiraled through the violet clouds of Vardas, trailing smoke and sparks. The ambush had come without warning, corporate raiders after the planet's biological treasures. His emergency beacon was silent, communications dead. Only the screaming of damaged thrusters filled his ears as the jungle canopy rushed to meet him. The impact shattered his consciousness into fragments. When awareness returned, pain flooded every nerve. His suit's diagnostic flashed warnings across his visor. Biological contamination. System failure. Toxin detected. Nico dragged himself from the wreckage, each breath burning like fire. Purple spores clung to the breach in his suit, spreading tendrils beneath his skin. His med scanner gave him hours at most. The jungle whispered around him as he stumbled through razor-edged foliage. Strange birds with 6 wings scattered at his approach. Bioluminescent fungi pulsed in rhythm with his footsteps. Vardas was beautiful, even as it was killing him. He found the cave by accident, collapsing at its entrance as the poison reached his heart. His vision blurred, darkness creeping in from the edges. Then movement. A figure approached, tall and graceful, skin the color of twilight. "Not human. You're dying," she said, her voice musical, yet strange. "The void spores have claimed you. Who... Nico gasped, unable to finish. "I am Celine," she replied, kneeling beside him. Her eyes were silver, pupilless, reflecting his broken form. "Your kind rarely survive this long after infection." Nico tried to reach for his sidearm, but his muscles refused to obey. "Kill me quickly," he managed. Celine tilted her head, studying him with those unnerving eyes. "There is another way." From a pouch at her waist, she withdrew a crystal vial filled with luminescent liquid. "My blood carries immunity. Why would you save me?" Nico whispered. "Compassion," she answered, then hesitated. "A necessity. My people dwindle. New genetic patterns strengthen us." "What's the catch?" Nico's vision darkened further. "A bond," Celine said softly. "Permanent. Our nervous systems will intertwine. You will feel what I feel. Know what I know?" She leaned closer. "You will never truly be apart from me again." Nico coughed, tasting blood. "Death or bondage to an alien. No real choice." "Decide quickly, Star Traveler," Celine whispered, uncorking the vial. The liquid inside glowed brighter when exposed to air. "Share my blood or perish." With the last of his strength, Nico nodded. Celine lifted his head gently, pressing the vial to his lips. "Drink and be bound to me." The liquid burned like frozen fire, racing through his veins. Nico arched in agony, a scream trapped in his throat. Then Celine placed her hand on his chest, over his heart. "I accept your life into mine," she whispered. Darkness claimed him completely then, but something else remained. A presence, gentle yet insistent. Celine, inside his mind. Blood and starlight, Neko woke to silver light filtering through crystal formations. His pain had receded to a dull ache. More surprising was the sensation of someone else's emotions flowing alongside his own curiosity, caution, and something like wonder. "The bond takes root quickly in you," Celine said, appearing beside his pallet. "Most outsiders resist longer." Nico sat up, examining his arms where the spore infection had spread. The purple veins had faded to faint silver traceries. "What exactly did you do to me?" "Saved you," she replied simply. "The symbiote in my blood neutralized the void spores and linked our neural pathways." She touched her temple. "You feel me as I feel you." When he focused, Nico could sense her presence like music played just beyond hearing range. "And this is permanent?" "Until death," Celine confirmed. "Perhaps beyond." The cave, he now realized, opened into a vast chamber. Homes were carved into the rock walls, connected by suspended bridges. People moved about, all with skin in shades of blue and violet like Selenis. Many stopped to stare at him with undisguised suspicion. "Welcome to Vardashin," Celine said. "Last refuge of the Vardian people? Why did you bring an outsider here?" A tall male approached, hostility radiating from him. His skin was darker than Selene's, marked with ritual scars. He carries the bond, Tarvik, Selene replied calmly. As is my right? Without council approval? Tarvik sneered. This human reeks of the corporations that hunt us. Nico stood, steadying himself against the stone wall. I'm not corporate. My vessel was attacked. I'm fleet. Human distinctions mean nothing here. Tarvik spat before storming away. Later, as Selene tended to Nico's remaining wounds, he asked, What did you mean about your people dwindling? Sadness flowed through their bond. We were once millions. Now barely 1,000 remain. Her fingers traced healing patterns over his skin. The corporations discovered our biological compatibility with humans. They want our symbiotes, our regenerative abilities. To weaponize, Nico guessed. Selene nodded. We retreated to these caves centuries ago. But inbreeding weakens us. New genetic material is our only hope. That night, Nico felt Selene's presence intensify. He found her on a high ledge overlooking the jungle. The bond hungers, she said without turning. It needs reinforcement. What kind of reinforcement? Nico asked, though their connection let him sense the answer before she spoke. Selene turned. Silver eyes luminous in the moonlight. Physical contact strengthens it. Intimacy... Accelerates adaptation. Something electric passed between them as she stepped closer. Her hand found his, fingers intertwining. I feel everything you feel, she whispered. Your fear, your curiosity, your desire. When their lips met, the bond flared like a supernova. Boundaries between them blurred, sensation doubling, echoing. Not just physical pleasure, but emotional resonance. Afterward. Lying beneath strange stars, Nico realized with startling clarity he could never return to his old life. Not while part of him lived within Selene. Your colony ship's systems are failing, Nico observed, studying the ancient computers that regulated Vardashin's life support. After 2 weeks among the Vardians, he'd gained limited acceptance by offering his technical expertise. They've degraded for generations, Selene explained, watching him work. Through their bond, she felt his concentration, the satisfaction as he isolated system errors. No one understands the old technology anymore. Nico's fingers moved across the interface. Your ancestors adapted human systems to Vardian biology. Ingenious, really. Across the chamber, Elder Morvath watched with suspicion. The outsider has too much access, he muttered to Tarvik. What if he signals his people? He already has, Tarvik replied darkly. Why else would corporate ships be scouting the northern ridge? That evening, the council summoned them. 12 elders arranged in a semicircle, faces impassive. The bond you share is unprecedented, Elder Morvath began. Too strong, too quickly formed. It must be proven worthy, or dissolve, Tarvik added, stepping forward. I challenge the outsider's place among us. The trial of echoes will determine his worth. Selene stiffened. Through their connection, Nico felt her alarm. What's this trial? He asked quietly. Combat, she replied. Not to death, but to surrender. Later in their chamber, Selene paced. Tarvik is our strongest warrior. He means to humiliate you, then claim me when the bond breaks. Claim you? Anger flared in Nico. You're not property. To him, I am a prize. Selene stopped before him. Our numbers dwindle. Strong mates are valued. That night, the twin moons of Vardas bathed the settlement in ghostly light. Nico stood bare-chested in the ritual circle, facing Tarvik's imposing figure. No weapons, Elder Morvath announced. No death. Only dominance. Tarvik attacked with blinding speed. Nico, enhanced by the symbiote bond, matched his movements. Each blow they exchanged sent echoes of sensation between him and Selene. She felt his pain, his determination. He drew strength from her confidence. Blood splattered the stone as they fought, neither yielding. Then Tarvik fainted, catching Nico with a devastating strike to the ribs. As he stumbled, Tarvik moved in for the final blow. Nico let him come. At the last possible moment, he shifted, using Tarvik's momentum against him. The Vardian warrior crashed to the ground. Before he could recover, Nico pinned him. Forearm pressed to throat. Nico demanded. Hatred burned in Tarvik's eyes, but he tapped the stone in surrender. That night, their bond pulsed stronger than ever. "You fought for us both," Celine whispered against his skin. "I fought for you," Nico replied, pulling her closer. Through their connection, emotions flowed unfiltered. No secrets, no hesitation. As they lay intertwined, Celine confessed, "I wasn't meant to live. I was born weak, expected to die. Our ways demand strength, but you survived. Only to watch my people fade." She traced the silver lines where the symbiote had changed him. "Until you?" "Whispers in the darkness they're coming," Nico announced to the council, displaying the settlement's perimeter scans. "Corporate mercenaries. Heavy weapons, atmospheric craft. How many?" Elder Morvath demanded. 2 squads. 18 fighters. Nico pointed to the tactical display. "They're surrounding the eastern approach." Scoffed. "And we should trust your assessment. Perhaps this is your signal to attack from within." Celine stepped forward. "The bond would reveal such betrayal. I would feel his intentions." "The bond has clouded your judgment," Tarvik snapped. "You see only what he wishes." Enough, Elder Morvath interjected. "What do you propose, outsider?" Nico outlined his plan. Bait the mercenaries into the network of caves beneath the settlement, where Vardian knowledge of the terrain would give them advantage. The elders reluctantly agreed. As they prepared, Celine found Nico securing the water purification systems. Through their connection, she felt his controlled fear, his tactical focus. "You've fought in wars before," she observed. 3 planetary conflicts, he confirmed, but never with so much at stake. That night, as the settlement darkened to avoid detection, they lay together in silence. Physical intimacy had become essential to maintaining their bond. But something deeper had developed between them, trust transcending species. "If we survive this," Nico whispered, "what happens to us?" Celine traced the contours of his face. "The bond is forever, but your life among the stars calls you." "And if I chose to stay?" Her silver eyes widened. "You would abandon your people for mine?" "For you," he clarified. "The fleet thinks I'm dead. There's nothing waiting for me out there." Through their connection, Celine felt his sincerity and his uncertainty. "You still fear losing yourself to the bond." "I fear becoming something neither human nor Vardian," Nico admitted. "Something in between. Perhaps that's exactly what both our peoples need." She pressed her forehead to his, intensifying their mental connection. A bridge. Before dawn, the mercenary scouts triggered the perimeter alarms. Nico moved silently with Celine and 6 Vardian warriors, positioning themselves in the narrow passages beneath the settlement. Even Tarvik followed his lead, personal animosity set aside for survival. "Remember," Nico whispered, "they want specimens, not corpses. They'll try to capture, not kill." The first mercenaries appeared, environmental suits gleaming in the darkness. Nico felt Selena's fear through their bond, sent back reassurance. They waited until the enemy was fully committed to the narrow passage. Then they struck. Beyond the stars, the battle unfolded in flashes of light and shadow. Vardian hunters moved like ghosts through the caverns they knew intimately. Mercenaries with corporation insignias fired paralyzing rounds into the darkness, hitting nothing. Nico and Celine fought as one entity, their bonded minds anticipating each other's movements perfectly. When a mercenary cornered Celine, Nico felt her panic as his own. He was already moving before she called out, dispatching the attacker with ruthless efficiency. "They're retreating," Tarvik announced after an hour of fierce fighting, regrouping at their ships. "No," Nico countered, the tactical assessment flowing through him. "They're changing strategy." He felt it with certainty. They'll target the settlement itself. The children, the elders. Elder Morvath's face hardened. "We must evacuate to the deep chambers." "There's no time," Nico insisted. "But there's another option." He looked to Celine, letting his plan flow through their bond rather than speaking it aloud. Her silver eyes widened. The symbiote amplification. "It's never been attempted with an outsider." "What is this?" Tarvik demanded. "The bond can be pushed further," Celine explained reluctantly. Complete neural synchronization. Our abilities shared fully, temporarily. It's dangerous, Elder Morvath warned. Even bonded Vardians rarely survive the strain. We don't have a choice, Nico said. Let us try. In the sacred chamber surrounded by bioluminescent crystals, Celine prepared the ritual. She mixed her blood with sacred herbs, creating a luminous paste that she applied to Nico's temples and heart. Our minds will become one, she whispered. No barriers, no secrets. I'm not afraid, Nico replied, though his pulse raced, when their lips met. The bond exploded beyond anything they'd experienced. Memories cascaded between them, Nico's childhood on distant colonies, Selena's struggles as a sickly child, both their losses and triumphs. More importantly, Selena's Vardian abilities flowed into him, enhanced reflexes, heightened senses, limited cellular regeneration. They emerged transformed. Without words, they moved to the settlement's edge as mercenary ships descended. Nico felt the Vardian symbiote pulsing beneath his skin, changing him, powering him. The mercenaries never expected resistance from above. Nico and Celine dropped among them like avenging spirits, moving faster than human reflexes could track. What followed wasn't a battle, but a rout. Afterward, standing amidst the retreating ships, Celine stumbled. Blood trickled from her nose, her silver eyes dimming. The synchronization is breaking down, she gasped. It's too much strain. Nico caught her, feeling her pain echoing through his own body. Tell me what to do. Nothing can be done. She touched his face. The price of our victory. No, Nico refused. I didn't cross galaxies to lose you now. Drawing on everything he'd learned of Vardian biology, Nico made his choice. He took his blade, sliced his palm, and pressed it to hers. Take it back, he commanded. The strength you gave me. Take it back. It could kill you, she protested weakly. I wasn't meant to live, he echoed her earlier words. But you refused to let me die. Now it's my turn. Energy flowed between them, the bond pulsing like a star. Pain greater than anything Nico had experienced tore through him as he deliberately redirected the symbiote's power back to Celine. When the council found them, they lay unconscious, hands still clasped. Surrounded by defeated enemies, 3 days later, Nico opened his eyes. Celine sat beside him, her skin glowing with renewed health. You should be dead, she said simply. Nico smiled weakly. Disappointed? Amazed. She took his hand, their bond humming between them. The symbiote has changed you more than any outsider before. You're becoming something new. You both are, he replied. Neither fully human nor Vardian. Elder Morvath appeared at the chamber entrance. The council has reached a decision. You are Vardian now, by blood and by deed. Tarvik stood behind him, respect replacing his former hostility. Your actions saved us all. Later, standing on the high ledge overlooking the jungle, Nico and Celine watched Vardis's twin moons rise. The settlement below buzzed with renewed purpose, incorporating salvaged mercenary technology. Planning expansion beyond the caves? I can feel your thoughts, Celine said softly. You're thinking of the stars. My people should know what happened here, Nico replied. The corporations won't stop hunting your people. You want to be our voice, she realized? Our ambassador. Our bridge, he corrected, echoing her earlier words. But I'll return. Our bond won't allow otherwise. Celine smiled, silver eyes reflecting starlight. No matter how far you travel, part of you remains with me. And part of me with you? They embraced beneath alien skies. The boundary between them, between human and Vardian, blurred once more. They had become something unprecedented, something hopeful, something new. The adventure would continue across stars and species, bound by blood and choice, and something remarkably like love.